Hey everybody, welcome to Fanboy Planet. I am talking today with Jeff Eyser, who is the one of the co-owners, co-managers, co-designers. I don't know what you want to say about it, of a fantastic new store. Because I get to say I've actually been there, and not knowing that months later I would have the opportunity to talk to you. The store is called Revenge of. Uh, pronounce it? Did I put the emphasis on the right? Revenge of or
Yeah,
Revenge
I
of,
mean
right?
it's kind of up to interpretation, I suppose. But yeah, it sounded good when you said it.
Well, so my first question out of that is revenge of what? Is that why it's called that? So we can all just wonder what's getting revenge.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the idea from the get go, is to leave it like an interesting sort of name. But we typically refer to it as Revenge of Comics and Pinball. To kind of drive the point home.
That's one of the things that sets this place apart. Which is, by the way, for people watching, it's formally in Glassell Park. I think my
Hmm.
when I first went out, my Google Maps said it was Pasadena and then or Echo Park. No, Eagle
Hmm.
Rock, and then I ended up being in Glassell Park. It's a gorgeous store, which is both, well, I guess, two-thirds comics, books, toys, snacks. There's little snacks, Blu-rays, DVDs, all that. Fantastic, well stocked, brightly lit, which I always appreciate a comic shop that's brightly lit, and then a
Mm,
dark pinball arcade, which is just top of the line. So I speak.
thank you.
I know what I speak of here. It's a fantastic shop. So you are by day or splitting your days as a designer, a production designer, working in the
Hmm.
industry.
Yep. Yep.
What drove you to create a comic shop, especially in a time when people keep saying, "Ah, oh, comic shops just aren't thriving"?
Well, so yeah, I'm a production designer for film and television, and we also do interior design for residential and commercial spaces. And um, um, yeah, I mean, we work a lot in the genre of, like, nerddom, I guess you would say. Like, one of our biggest clients is Critical Role, and we do a lot of work with Sci-Fi Channel and stuff like that. So our interests and are more or less aligned with nerd culture. So during the pandemic, we started collecting pinball machines, which started to kind of take over our warehouse where we fabricate the sets. And we were like, maybe we should turn this into a business. And from there, we were like, well, what else can we add to the pinball to kind of like get all of our interests in one place? And that's when we thought of, might as well open a comic book store.
Now, is that close to, as you say, your warehouse? Because to me, the interesting thing is it almost feels like you're in sort of an industrial area. Like
Hmm.
when I went out, I said to a friend, "Well, we'll just go get breakfast. There must be someplace close by." Well, yeah, eventually for a walk. But
Hmm.
so it's an interesting place for a shop. But so yeah, is it close by? Are you able to like swap out pinball machines easily?
Yeah, so our offices are in an area of town called Frogtown, which is like Elysian Valley area, and
Okay.
it's kind of like one of those up and coming neighborhoods, but it's relatively close to Glassell Park. It's about 5 minutes away, and then our warehouse is over in Glendale, so it's like this like 10-minute triangle of places. But it was important to us when we were opening a place that we weren't really encroaching in on anyone else's territory, and we wanted to kind of service a neighborhood that could like really benefit from something like us. And we also
Yes.
wanted to find a home where the neighborhood was kind of still up and coming. So Glassell Park ended up being kind of the perfect spot. I mean, just since we opened in January, we already have two restaurants that have opened across the street. So like our whole block is kind of transforming already just in
Oh,
the first
terrific.
year.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I talk about a lot on my podcast and on the site. Like, to me, a great comic book store is a great community. That's the key to surviving. Like, in a time with comicsology, and I know there are
Hmm.
plenty of online services, it's all about the community you build. And I think that that's of great importance to you. So how did you go about doing that? You opened in January, kind of out of the blue. Um,
Hmm.
and you had these great events in the parking lots, which unfortunately I have not been able to make a lotzilla, and I guess I have to
Yeah.
wait till next summer. But
Yeah.
you are building an inclusive community, and what have you done to do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing that was like, I mean, paramount, like most important to us was to create like a space that was more of a hangout. Like I think something that's missing from a lot of comic book shops is that environment where you kind of want to spend a little bit more time there. So, you know, we put in like a seating area in the front, and you know, we serve drinks and snacks and things like that. So we kind of like want to encourage people to like spend some time there and want to come there. So we have a lot of customers that come in, you know, pretty much every single day. So and they play
Really?
pinball for an hour, yeah, and then they pick up their comics, and yeah, and then we chat, and you know, we have a you know, a lot of loyal customers so early on. So we're very fortunate.
Yeah, it's just a little too far for me to do it on a daily basis, but yes, I would gladly, because it's fun.
Yeah.
But it's also a wide variety of customers. I mean, that's what I want to say. You know,
Mhm.
you're the key, I think, to comics too is getting those new readers, making everybody
Mhm.
feel, you know. So and Lotzilla, I thought of it as like a crafts fair for nerds.
Yeah,
Uh,
almost.
to,
Yep.
okay,
I would go that far. Yeah. So, like, what we like to call the store like a nerd bodega, more or less. So that's kind of like the whole vibe is like it's kind of got that bodega where it's like filled with everything you might want, you know, and it's like a one stop shop for like all your needs. But when we started doing the Lotzilla events in summer, it was like let's try to align ourselves with other people in the community that are doing cool stuff, and then bring all of them together, and then help, you know, introduce us to their audience and vice versa. So that was it was really fun. We did that for 4 months. The last one last month was like, I think we had 10 vendors there. I mean, it turns out to be a huge event for us, and it was a lot of stress, and but very fun to do. And we actually did another event last Saturday, where we just had a big sale, and then we had like a masubi restaurant come in and kind of vend there for us, and it was about the same size customer wise as the Lotzilla. So so yeah, I think there's like people are happy to have something to do with their families and with their friends that isn't like going to a bar or, you know, something like that. So yeah, again, we're very fortunate.
yeah. So as a comic shop owner, I've always got to ask people, you know, what are your favorite comics? Say three of
Hmm.
your favorites right now.
Well, so I'm fairly new. I shouldn't say I'm fairly new. I read comics a lot while I was a kid, and then I kind of fell off. And then now that we have the store, I'm diving like really into it. So right now I'm like halfway through the compendium for Saga, which obviously is
Yes.
amazing because everyone tells me to read it, and I tell everyone to read it, even though I haven't. But now I'm halfway through, so
Okay, good.
I'm on it. But I'm reading. I wrote down a list of like all the things I'm reading just in case this came up because I'm
Good,
reading
good.
so much stuff now because we do a every Tuesday we do a live stream also where we go through like all the new comics and every single cover and all the graphic novels. So the first couple times we were doing it, I was just like, I don't know what this one's about, and I don't know what this one's about. So now I'm like, I'm reading as much as possible. But Spider-Man is always a big one for me. You know, I really like the new Amazing Spider-Man run. I'm reading Edge of Spider-Verse, which is bonkers, but you know, whatever. I'm reading. I read Spider-Punk. I read kind of like all the Spider-Man. 8 Billion Genies right now is like
Oh, that's a
really
great book.
good.
Yeah.
It's really good. I'm reading Rogues Gallery, which the third issue just came out, which I'm into, which actually just got optioned by Don Cheadle's production company to become a series. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
cool.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else am I reading? I'm reading The Predator, Alien, Army of Darkness versus Reanimator, kind of
You got
all
a
over the
horror
board.
background. I definitely felt
Yeah.
like going through the Blu-rays. I will confess to my purchase. You know, I bought a Criterion of a John Waters film,
Oh,
Pink
cool.
Flamingos, which I've never actually
Yep.
seen, but I thought I'm in that state of if I don't buy it, I will forget that I need to watch this. So
Yeah.
I saw a lot of horror. So it seems to me that might be where which I think this kind of leads to a question: is one of your credits is working with Marie Kondo. So how do you justify filling my house up with more stuff while working with the person who's telling me to throw it all away?
Yeah, that's funny that you bring that up. Actually, well, I mean, the funny part is that she's also now selling things on her website. So she wants you to fill her stuff. So you can go to her website and you can fill your house up with her stuff, and then I guess throw it away once you've thanked it for bringing you joy.
It no longer gives me joy. Yes,
Yeah,
that's the problem. Everything still gives me joy. That's the problem.
then you don't need to get rid of it, I guess.
Oh, there we go. I will not be showing this interview to my wife. So anyway, what makes a good pinball machine? Because there were things that I thought the culture was kind of. I know that there are conventions, and I thought it was all classic stuff. I was kind of blown away by some of the stuff that was there, and like I said, I know you rotate them through. So what makes a good pinball machine for you?
I'm very new school with the pinball machines, so the tech, the newer tech in them is fun for me. Like there's the Stranger Things premium that we have that has like this projection drive-in movie situation that happens in it. But I also one of my favorite games right now is Godzilla, and it's got all these new things to it, like this tower that goes up and down and this bridge that crumbles. And I think all those little toys is what makes a good pinball machine for me, but I know a lot of people would argue differently. But the pinball community is much like any fandom where people love things and they hate things, and
Well, how do you choose? My podcast producer just posted. There was an announcement of a new James
double
Bond
007.
pinball machine. Yeah, he
Yeah.
is so excited, and I'm just kind of teasing him like, "Oh, where does that actually go in your house? Because I've been there. I know there's no room, but
Yeah.
so I know that's coming. That's the first time I've ever been aware of a new one. So how often do you swap them out? So that people can visit. Like I'm not going to be daily, but should it be coming monthly and playing the big
Yeah.
new thing?
I mean, we have at the store, we have 18 machines. We own about 27 machines, which are spread out between my office and still at the warehouse. And we do swap them out at least monthly. But then there's these new ones that come out, quite frequently, I guess, like 3, 4 times a year, I would say. So we're definitely going to stay on the tip with all the new stuff. And as soon as those come out, we'll get one. And then occasionally we'll get like an older machine and bring it in and stuff like that. So I mean, the idea is to we keep touting ourselves as the best pinball room in LA, which I think we are, but we have to stay on top of it and keep it fresh, and make sure people are getting what they want.
Okay, well, I will be checking it out soon, and again, people watching, it's Revenge of Comics and Pinball, and I will place info on this as well. Uh, it's a blast. So I'm so excited that I actually got to talk to you because, like I said, it's worth a trip, and it's worth more than one trip. So
Yeah.
thank you
Yeah,
for
we
that.
get a lot of people visiting from out of town, a lot of people driving up from San Diego. Like people come from pretty far to check us out. And I think we're trying to do something special, and change the game a little bit, and it seems to be working. So
Thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on any Fanboy Planet video content. And visit fanboyplanet.com for other features, reviews, interviews, previews, and of course, listening to the Fanboy Planet podcast. And remember, use your powers for good.